Hello everyone, this is Dr. Rio McBride, your course director for LMO 6629, Learning Management Systems and Organization, where we will be making waves in education as if you haven't been done so already for the last 9 months, because I want you to continue to be the wave, be the agent of change in your organization, whether it's in K through 12, higher education, or out in industry. And what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be using the word students or clients. Students will refer to obviously those of you who are in education. Clients will be referred to those who are in industry, the ones that you're teaching, ones that you're training, so on and so forth. And we'll just go from there. Okay, so welcome everybody again to Learning Management Systems and Organization. So here we go. This is part 1, and this week there are 3 parts in these prequel videos. And I say prequel videos because I want you, in the spirit of flipping the classroom, I want you to be able to listen to these videos before we have our live classroom meeting, henceforth referred to as LCM. And so during this part 1, we're going to discuss the overview. So I'll give you an overview of weeks 1 through 4. Now, I do these things extemporaneously. I don't have a written script. I really don't like using the script if I don't have to. It's more fun that way. At least I think so. So here we go, and I like to use humor. And let's just dive into it. Now, have you ever felt, look at these pictures, have you ever felt like any of this during your course, the courses that you've taken? You're so tired you fall asleep at the keyboard? Or I've had one student who, when she was riding home on the subway, she woke up only to find that her head had been resting against some stranger's shoulder. So she said that she woke up and she was resting on some stranger's shoulder. I had to find this picture, and the week afterwards, I showed this to her and the rest of the class and explained to her why. I mean, we all had a good kick out of it. Then there's the time when the computing devices just don't work. The network is down, and you can't get in the internet. So that happens at times as well. And when that happens, call me, because you'll have the information to call me, and we can work things out and change the due date if need be, if something happens, whatever. Then, of course, the age-old, ha ha ha, and no one will believe him. The dog ate my homework. Well, we have a dog that looks very much like that, but that's not our dog, though. We have a dog that is half lab, half pit, beautiful, and he's pit through and through. Excuse me, not pit through and through. He is lab through and through. Okay, and he's just like one of the kids. He really is. And yes, he has tried to eat some homework before. But more importantly, though, or bring a little more closer to home, is one of my students showed me the dog ate my homework, and he showed me a jump drive that had been chewed by his pet dog. So anyway, it can happen to you. So be careful, and I'll work with you because I'm a pretty understanding person most of the time. Okay. All right, let's move on. Now, you have my contact information. We're doing some housekeeping here for LMO 6629. You have some contact information about me in the course outline and in the syllabus. Please read that, and also the introductory letter that was sent to you as well, because in both of these documents is information of how to get into Vidler for this my Vidler account for this course. You don't want to get into the Vidler account for the course previous, but this one. And to let you know that you will not be able to see any of the videos in this course unless your Vidler account unless you are in Viddler, that you have, unless you were able to sign in to Viddler using the password and username that is inside of this these documents. Now, in this course, it really is a hands-on experience, because you learn learning management systems not by reading theory, not by reading books or reading lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of chapters and articles, but you do will read some articles, but it is hands-on. So I'll give you a hands-on experience, teach you the elements necessary to create a robust and rigorous online course, and you walk away with a module that you can show off to your peers and your administrators at the end of the course, at the end of the month. So that's how we work it in this course. You will not have any fill in the blank, multiple choice, true, false, short answers, or anything like that while in this course. It's all hands-on. So with that, let's move forward, because I want to give you, again, this is to provide you an overview of the weeks coming up. But a little more housekeeping though. One thing I want you to understand, that where it applies, you will not need to recreate the wheel. That is, you've had 9 months of courses now where you've created videos, where you've created music, where you've created, or you've learned how to create videos, you've learned how to create music for educational purposes, you've learned how to create games, you've learned how to create learning objects. Well, here's your chance to bring it all together and use these wonderful teaching items, objects that you have, learning objects that you have created, and put them into this course if it fits. When I say if it fits, that means it's up to you. So you get to repurpose what you previously developed and get double credit for it. You know, once in one class, and now for this class, because it's being used for something different. You're repurposing it as such. Now, you'll also get to help, if I can get this word out, help each other out. So what you'll do with that is that you'll have an opportunity to critique each other. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, you get to give feedback to each other of how to make your courses better, or say, oh wow, this is great what you're doing, or have you thought about this idea perhaps? And we'll talk more about this a little bit later as we go on in the course. So again, that's just a little bit of housekeeping there. And again, I do this extemporaneously. I won't say that word anymore, but that's just the way it is. Alright, overview week 1. Well, you've got a welcome letter, which is also inside the course, and the syllabus and course outline are in there as well. And there's a little video bio on Dr. Rio, something that was made for me when I first got here, and kind of tells you something about me a little bit. Now, there's a student lounge that I provide for you as well. In the student lounge, you can talk about last night's game, what's going on in your world, your recipe if you found one that you really like, or a restaurant that you really think is really cool that you want to introduce everybody to, or politics, or anything, as long as it's appropriate, because that's where professionalism comes in. So you keep things professional, you know, and then all of you by this time know that all of you know what that means. So and that's how I will treat you as well. Now, professionalism doesn't mean dry and without humor. I like to use humor, and I'll tell jokes in our live classroom meetings, or LCMs, as I said. I would refer to them as such. So, speaking of which, the LCM discussion board. We will meet once a week live, and where in this discussion board you will be given the opportunity to share your best takeaway of what you learned, or learned to really appreciate from that evening's conversation. And during this time, you will also provide all of us an article that you have found in EBSCOhost or LexisNexis using the permalink in there that you put into the discussion board, and a brief synopsis of that article. This article deals with online learning, distance learning, blended learning, how to make your courses, online courses, more engaging, you name it, dealing with learning management system, etc. So any of those topics, the field is wide open. Note, this is not optional, but required. All right. Now, week 1, your first assignment, Intro to the Schoology Learning Management System, LMS. This is just an example. I like Schoology, but that's okay, but I like all of them, really. Moodle, Blackboard, Canvas, and any others that are out there. It depends what's best for you. It depends on what is, again, it could be something that your school district is using. And if your school district is using Moodle or if they're using Blackboard, go ahead and use it, because you want to be able to develop these courses for your students to use. So again, that's your choice, because it doesn't matter it does not matter really what learning management system you use. It's the principles and concepts that are the same apply from one learning management system to another. All right, then you have what's called MyLMS Checkpoint Alpha for discussion part 1. This is where you will be building a mind map, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, mind map of what you're going to do in your course. Okay, this is a mind map, again, literally, it's a mind map of, how many times I kind of say mind map, of your course. It's kind of like the blueprint as such. This is where you are going to be analyzing, designing, what's going to go where, etc., what you're going to put in there, and it'll help you as you go throughout the course. Now, this discussion part 2, response to discussion part 1, MyLMS Checkpoint Alpha. This is where you will respond back to 2 or more students on the video that they created of their checkpoint alpha, because you will create a video of each checkpoint that you do, and that way your peers all of you can give each other feedback on what is happening, on what they see, and share ideas and make suggestions, so on and so forth. And this style that you see here will happen every week. Different content, but the same structure every week, because in an online course you must give the online student a similar structure every week, because that online student needs that. It gives them that security, and you'll find that out as you develop your own courses as well. So that's overview of week 1. Let's look at overview of week 2. And by the way, before we go any further, the reason why I use the word checkpoint is because I used to use the word benchmark, but then it started some students started getting a little concerned, saying, wait a minute, is that part of the benchmark of our district? No. So that is why I'm using the word checkpoint, because some districts like to use benchmarks, and perhaps some of you have experienced that. So we use checkpoints. Alright, now here's the overview of week 2, as I said, but this week's a little bit different because your capstone project is due Monday of week 2, and you'll have this ready because Roxanne De Leon will be looking at it. And then also there's a special discussion board for y'all as well. This is where you were if I can get this out, this is where you will copy paste the URLs of the blog posting that you made and to your fellow peers, and put this blog posting that you made to, at Charlie or at Jill or at Bill or at Juan, at whoever, where you will also copy that blog posting and put it in there with the in this discussion board with the URL. Alright, now as I said, every week we have a live classroom meeting, henceforth known as LCM. And in this LCM discussion board that will be available to you after the class meeting, or that you can it'll actually be available to you at the beginning of the course. But what you'll do is write in there your best takeaways from that evening's discussion, as well as like in week 1, here's your article, the synopsis of the article, and the permalink to it. So that's what is going to happen every week. Note again, it's not optional. That article is not optional but required. So please do that. And I think I mentioned this earlier. If I didn't, I'll mention it now. When you do the article and use the permalink, if you're using Diigo, place it in Diigo as well for your own self, so you can start building your own library of great articles pertaining to learning management systems, online learning, blended learning, online course development, engagement for online courses, so on and so forth. Then there's Checkpoint Bravo. This is where you start adding the meat now to the skeletal that you built with your mind map. And then again, part 2 is where you give feedback to your peers. Now, let's move on to week 3. If you have any questions about any of this, feel free to email me and or iChat me, and I'll clear things up if there's any confusion on it. By the way, these overviews that you're seeing right here, the schedule, if you will, of the weeks is found also in the course syllabus as well as in the course outline. So that's in the course, and also I will by this time have emailed you the outline at least. So please, this is just a reminder, so you can always go back to, if you want to print it out, you can do that from the course, but it's in the course, and you'll find it there if you need to refer back to it to see what's coming up. Now, week 3. Easy week, and it follows the same pattern. Again, as I said, every online course from week to week should follow a similar pattern, and that's necessary for the online students. Online students love structure. They've got to have that, and so I say that to you because I'm trying to give you that structure for this week, or for this month. But as you develop your own courses, you will want to make sure that your students can follow a similar structure as necessary for them. It's necessary for every online student. I can keep saying that again and again, but I won't. All right. So, overview now for week 4. Again, this is Checkpoint Delta. You're adding more meat, as you added more meat during Checkpoint Charlie and Checkpoint Bravo, and then our LCM discussion board as such. But look down here at the bottom here, discussion, a creative reflection of your month 10 experience. This is where you get to tell me about what you would do differently about the course for your own self, and also give me ideas, suggestions, what I can do differently, or how I can help make the course better. Now, we'll talk about that more later as we get into each week, because if each week, except for week 1, which you've already seen, in week 2, again, you will see the overview of week 2. Then in week 3, the overview of week 3, and so on and so forth. So this is to give you some ideas here. Now, earlier we talked about feedback to your peers. Well, what I'd like for you to do is use the RISE model for meaningful feedback as developed by Emily Ray. Use the verbiage here. Have a reflect paragraph, have an inquire paragraph, a suggest paragraph, an elevate paragraph, if you will, because it's easier to follow along what you're doing, and also it's easier for your peers to see what's happening as well. Now, as you're using the reflect, inquire, suggest, elevate here, you'll also be using what Emily put in here as well, is this Bloom's taxonomy, using those action verbs that are necessary to help give better feedback to your peers. Alright, let's see. That's about all I have right now as such. Feel free to take screenshots. By the way, you can take screenshots of these if you want, but also at the same time, it's found inside the course. I've got these in the course as well. Now, this is the end of part 1. So, get up, walk around, stretch, go out and, sing some songs. I don't know, get something to eat. Go out and exercise. And we'll see you in part 2. Take care, everybody. See you in a little while.